think the biggest generational curse was that the majority of our families gate-kept health. A lot of our family members dealt with health issues and never told any of us. For me personally, when I talked to the women in my family and told them what I was dealing with, they all said, oh yeah, me too. Well, girl, why wouldn't you tell me that? I think the best trend that happened this year was we talked more about womb health, holistic healing, and women's health. So many celebrities came out and talked about their battles with their reproductive health and their womb health. They talked about their battles with fibroids, with Lupita. Harvey came out and talked about her battle with endometriosis. We had other celebrities coming out and talking about their battles with PCOS. Because when we normalize having these conversations out in the open together, it gives other people the opportunity to feel safe to share their story as well.
Okay, quick question while I'm waiting for my lift. How many of y'all got fibroids? Can we just like start talking about it? Because Good Morning America posted something this morning about it, and I'm like, yo, so we all going through this and we not talking about it? Like, what is going on? Like, y'all, literally, I'm on my 50th day of my period, and I am believing for an end today. And it's like on this last little trickle, like it's pretty much gone. So I'm believing for, I'm believing like that woman with the issue of blood, okay? Because why are we all dealing with this and we're not talking about it? Like, we are held to the same expectations at work, right? When we're in dire pain, we tad all the time, we're bleeding out all the time, we like are anemic all the time. Like, how many of y'all are anemic? Like, why is this all of us and we're not talking about it? We're just left to like suffer and suffer in silence and be a G about it. You know how many times I've gone to work and was like, I'm gonna be a G today. I ain't gonna trip. I ain't gonna make no hoopla, because it's embarrassing. Like, I don't want to tell my male boss, like, yo, I'm bleeding out today. I've gone through five pads, a tampon, and a diaper. Can I go home? Like, what? Like, why is this wrecking our life? I've already had a myomectomy, and that thing came right back. It's the size of a golf ball now. And I'm just over it. I am over it. And there is a procedure called UFE that I'm strongly considering, but they told me the bill. I said, oh, no, I need to go on the corner. Lord, I know you're going to provide, so I don't have to go on the corner. But dang.
Hey there, loved ones. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking about all things women's health. I have loved seeing so many women being open about their stories this year, mainly because when I started out on my own journey back in 2020, the reason why I even started this channel partly was because I went searching for other women who were battling fibroids, and I didn't see anyone that looked like me who was on a journey of healing them naturally. I only seen women talking about their journey of getting surgery, and I knew that I didn't want to go the surgical route. So I started sharing my journey of going plant-based and meeting with different coaches, and my experience going to the doctors, and why I just didn't want to take the surgical route. And by all means, I don't want anybody to watch this video and think that I'm judging or shaming anyone for their experiences. That was just my experience. And so over the course of the last 5, almost 6 years, I have met, watched videos of, and learned from so many women who have went the natural route and completely healed their bodies. And so I think it's really important for us as women to talk about our life experiences. The majority of the women in my life, and I've talked to them significantly about this, and I'm sure they would be okay with me sharing this. The majority of the women in my life had hysterectomies before the age of 30 due to fibroids. And actually talked to my grandma about it, and she said had she known what she knows now at her age, about what you can do to heal your body naturally, she wouldn't have gotten a hysterectomy at 25. And statistics also show that one of the main causes for hysterectomies is fibroids. And fibroids, as we now know, can be managed, shrunk, and healed naturally. Now, it's not easy, and it is something that you have to maintain. Even for myself, I shrunk the fibroids naturally and holistically, but not maintaining the lifestyle caused them to grow back. I'm actually meeting with a fibroid healing coach. Y'all have heard me mention her here on this channel several times. I'm meeting with her to get to the root of what's going on so we can completely clear it out for good. Excuse the outfit change. I'm getting ready for date nights. But I wanted to come on here and finish the discussion that we were having. So earlier this year, there was a lot of commotion over on TikTok about women's reproductive health products. Now, a young lady, a girl, said that she's seen maggots in her reproductive health products, and maybe she had a bad batch, or I don't know, but other people said that they were also seeing the same thing. Now, I'm not one to come and discredit or try to down any product or anything. However, I do know that as a woman who has dealt with hormonal issues, and just based off of a lot of the research that I've done myself and listened to from other doctors and practitioners and people who specialize in endocrinology, a lot of the women's health products that we are using are contributing to the health issues that we are having. Specifically, certain brands that use products that are not organic cotton, and that use fragrance, that use polyester. You should not be putting polyester in your private areas. Shouldn't be coming into contact with your private areas. So I switched out my feminine products years ago, and then recently found out that the feminine product that I switched to now has polyester in their ingredients. So yeah, I've been recommended to try a feminine product brand that starts with an R. So I'm gonna go ahead and look into that, and also cups. Now, I'm not a fan of the cups. I'm also not a fan of the period panties. There's just something about, I'm just not a fan of the period panties. Tried them. I feel like they did what they were supposed to do, but I just wasn't a fan. Also, the cups I wasn't a fan of either. So still on the hunt for some feminine products that I can advocate for. If you have any organic cotton feminine health brands that you are aware of, please let the girls know in the comments, because we need them. But also just using different things that help to alleviate cramping and heavy flow, like herbs like red raspberry, turmeric, ginger, things like that, to help with your flow so that it's not as heavy. It's definitely something to look into. Now let's get back to these maggots in these pads. What do you mean? Roll the clip.
Okay, I need you to look at this. I'm recording because this is gross. This is unused pad. Tell me what that is. Dissect it and tell me what it is. Because to me it looks like a maggot. Is that what that is?
No.
Open it. Tell me that's not what that is. Oh my god, it is a maggot. Are you for real?
I go to the doctor. Tell me how the first question she asks me is, are you using always pads? If you have painful periods, heavy flows, contact dermatitis, rashes, or even infertility, then please do not use always pads. Apparently it's already known within the medical community that these pads are not good for women. So these were the ones that I was using prior, and I've had no issues with them, and they're also 100% cotton. I also have friends that swear by these underwears. Aside from the fact that they use a bunch of synthetic materials, they also have carcinogenics and forever chemicals inside the pads. Like, I don't think people realize how crazy that is. So yeah, make the switch, and honestly, I guarantee that if your cramps and pain doesn't completely go away, it'll at least lessen.
It brought up this very big, loud conversation that we need to be having around reproductive health, vaginal health, hormonal imbalance, and the like. Endocrinology is really important, and it goes down to the things that we're putting on our bodies as far as our lotions, perfumes. I told y'all before about how I noticed that the perfumes that I was using was causing me to break out on my chest. Exhibit A. Whenever I use perfumes, I break out on my chest. It's been better now because I don't use perfumes as much, or like not alcohol-based perfumes as much. Now I'm just using body oils. If you are a brand who has like healthy, natural body oils, send some over to your girls so I can try them for the girls, because I don't know what is going on out here. The food, the products, this is why we are seeing an increase of fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, and uterine cancers. We need to better prioritize our feminine health and wellness. I'm sitting here reading an article now by Flow Space, and they're talking about how Black women in particular are especially vulnerable to developing uterine fibroids. We are up to 3 times more likely to develop uterine fibroids compared to women of other races. And I have my theories about this. The emotional baggage that we carry in our womb spell from being strong, and a whole host of other things that we don't prioritize, the way that we eat. Our culture prioritizes the standard American diet, which includes a lot of processed and ultra processed and chemically based foods. And so we deal with a lot more of those hormonal issues. And also, I don't feel like these conversations are being had loudly enough, as I was saying before, within our families. We are gatekeeping health. Like, we need to be talking about the things that we're dealing with. And there's this like closed mouth thing that happens in Black families especially. I don't know if this is any other culture, where, you know, what happens in his house stays in his house, or, you know, just not sharing our experiences openly, and the fear of being vulnerable too. Because I remember I had this conversation with a family member of mine, and I told her about my battle with fibroids, and she said, oh yeah, I had 2 fibroids. When I got pregnant, you'll be fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, so everybody got this, everybody around me got these things, and nobody sat and talked to me about the potential symptoms that can occur from hormonal imbalance, from being on birth control for 10 plus years at an early age. And I also want to say too, that this is in part lack of education on their end too, because I solely believe that my mom gave birth to a nosy child. I'm a very curious person. I want to know, like, if I'm noticing patterns, I'm not just going to accept that that's the way that things are. Absolutely not. We got to get to the root of this. Why are all of the women on both sides of my family dealing with the same thing? That's not clicking to y'all, that there needs to be something looked into. Well, let me do it. Big dog got it. So that's what I've been doing. Heavy research on this topic, because I don't want my daughters to then have to deal with the same things. So some of the celebrities who have been open about their fibroids. Venus Williams said that her fibroid symptoms went undiagnosed and dismissed.
My symptoms were extreme pain, so much in pain that maybe you'll throw up or you can't get off the ground. I've missed practices because of that, just, hugging the toilet. I live with an autoimmune disease, so I thought maybe it was autoimmune anemia.
But the source of her pelvic pain and heavy bleeding was something else. Fibroids, benign tumors that can grow in the uterus.
I didn't know it was something like this, big like an orange. One doctor told me, at the time I was maybe like 37, and he said, this is a part of aging, this is normal.
A hysterectomy was recommended to you?
Yeah, I've never been so sad in my life. I had never been running to have kids, but I always wanted to have a choice.
I think Venus's story is actually, unfortunately, a very common story. Women do not get the care that they need for fibroid disease.
Williams ultimately got a myomectomy with Dr. Shirazian, which involves removing fibroids from the uterus.
I've been taking this time to rest and recover and be, a happy person without fibroids. You can be denied the best health care no matter who you are. You have to be your own advocate. Hopefully someone will see this interview and say, oh my God, I can get help. I don't have to live this way.
Lupita, same thing. She had 30 fibroids surgically removed, and she teamed up with lawmakers to introduce a uterine health legislation and to launch a research grant with the Foundation of Women's Health, which is pretty awesome.
Have you heard this one? An Academy Award-winning actress, 4 congresswomen, 2 senators, and women's health advocates enter a room on Capitol Hill on a Tuesday morning. What do you think happens next? It's called Progress. Progress for the health of women everywhere. Academy Award-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o shared how during the same year that she won her Oscar, she was also diagnosed with uterine fibroids, and she subsequently had to have surgery to remove over 30 fibroids. This is why Lupita Nyong'o has teamed up with leaders and experts in science to create a research grant to understand and study fibroids.
It's important that we don't just accept pain as our norm. I'm also here, I've teamed up with Katie Brooksky-Falco and the Foundation for Women's Health to launch the FWH, Lupita Nyong'o Uterine Fibroid Research Grant.
All right.
So yeah, we need to have these conversations more openly. Some things to keep in mind if you are battling any of these reproductive health issues is your levels of inflammation, insulin resistance. Make yourself aware of this terminology and start asking questions. Start doing your own research for yourself, okay? If you are having digestion issues, then everything that you are eating and absorbing is going back into your bloodstream and causing these issues, causing for you to be inflamed. If you look at how your uterus and all of your lady parts are situated in your body, and it's behind the rectum and your bladder. If your rectum is full of waste, all of that excess estrogen is seeping out and creating a toxic environment for your uterus and causing things like tumors and inflammation, all of those things that we can target and treat. You just need guidance. And if you need help, you gotta know where to go to ask for it. There's free resources out here. So for me, I tried to do it by myself for a while, and then I went and I sought coaching. So there are definitely people out here who know better, who have done better, and can help to guide you along the way.
They told her it was out of her hands, but the truth is you have more power than you think. I've got 3 critical factors that research suggests it's better to be proactive than reactive. Now, the first one is that fibroids are hormone responsive. They're not random. Now, research also shows that estrogen dominance and the poor detoxification of excess estrogen contributes to the fibroid growth and persistence. So addressing your diet, lifestyle, supporting your liver detoxification is a key step to take to support your body. Number 2 is your environment is part of the cause and the cure, because exposure to the xenoestrogens from plastics, personal care products, certain foods really makes a huge difference. So by reducing these endocrine disruptors over time, it reduces your risk to fibroids over time. Inflammation and gut health matter more than what we're told. When you have a sluggish gut, poor digestion, chronic bloating. This means toxins are basically recycling through your system, creating these fibroid-friendly environments. So it's critical to address all these points.
It is getting late. I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm going to end this video by sharing some videos that I've seen that have been helpful, that talk about things that you can do to naturally heal your body, people that have already done it, people that you can reach out to, different coaches that you can connect with, and people who are just sharing their experiences with having fibroids and other reproductive health issues. You do not have to suffer in silence, and you do not have to suffer alone. There is a community of women who are actively battling the same things. There are groups on Facebook. You can go check those out. I will link those in the description box below, because we have other options than what is being made quickly to us as far as the things that we are being suggested to do. I'm not going to say, because I don't want to get banned or shadow banned or anything. Do your research, advocate for yourself, and watch these videos. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Like this video, okay? Like this video so it can get pushed out into the algorithm. Leave me a comment and subscribe to this channel. Become a part of this community. Become one of my loved ones. And yeah, I will catch y'all in the next video. Watch these videos.
These women aren't pregnant. They have advanced uterine fibroids. Up to 80% of women develop fibroids of some size by age 50. Black women, up to 3 times more likely to have them, often at a younger age.
So uterine fibroids are non-cancerous growths that can occur in a woman's womb.
They can range from as small as a blueberry to as large as a watermelon in rare cases. The same year Lupita Ngonga won this Academy Award, she was diagnosed with uterine fibroids. The actor is now partnering with 6 Black congresswomen to fight for more research funding and increased early detection.
For our daughters and granddaughters, an opportunity to not only understand that this is happening, but to heal it.
Fibroids can cause symptoms like weight gain, heavy menstrual bleeding, and infertility, but some women have no symptoms.
Fibroids can grow with increasing stress, processed foods, obesity.
Dr. Faith Ahuba, an OBGYN with an upcoming book about fibroids, says women should think of the condition as a red flag that they should make healthier choices.
You have to think about some of these diseases from a holistic perspective.
Advocates want researchers to develop more minimally invasive treatments. Current ones on the market are not always covered by insurance.
Everybody's insurance is different, but it's still worth a conversation of all your options.
Doctors may recommend a hysterectomy or surgery to remove fibroids. This content creator had 27 removed. Nyong'o, 30. But they can grow back.
The real issue is awareness, education, and having these real conversations. Women deserve better at this point.
For more stories like this, head to wordinblack.com.
Let's talk about the impact of fibroids on pregnancy. In early pregnancy, 5 to 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks of pregnancy, if you experience any bleeding, sometimes that could be due to having fibroids. Risk is that you may have a miscarriage, or your pregnancy may have trouble developing inside of the uterus because there's a fibroid there fighting with it, stealing the oxygen and the blood flow that is important to the growing pregnancy, but stealing it for itself. And so miscarriages are a huge possible complication because you have fibroids in pregnancy.
You're currently struggling with fibroids. I wanted to go over the diet and lifestyle changes I made to help treat my fibroids naturally. The first thing I did was I tried to cut out all the estrogen binding foods. So that's cutting out dairy. I ate way less meat. Not completely, but I definitely ate less. Did a few like Daniel fasts. Sometimes I just was 100% into it and would eat no animal products at all. Cut out a lot of processed foods, ate less sugar, drank less caffeine. The second thing I did was increase my fiber intake. Since we're trying to detox estrogen and get the estrogen out of our body, we have to use the bathroom. So increasing, chia seeds, flax seeds, fruits, vegetables, anything to help increase your fiber. I would add like avocado to my smoothies, which is a really high fiber food, raspberries as well. About 25 grams, sometimes more of fiber a day. Third, I would say eating more anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens. I ate about a salad every day. I ate way more less inflammatory foods because an anti-inflammatory diet helps decrease fibroid growth. Another thing I wanted to do is support liver detox. That entails drinking plenty of water. I took the DIM, I took the calcium D-glutarate. I didn't eat beets. I had a red powder that had beets in it. So beets also help with liver detoxification too. Another thing I tried to do was balance my blood sugar by eating enough protein and fat in my diet. Let's talk about lifestyle changes now. A big lifestyle change that I think everyone should do to balance hormones, balance estrogen, treat fibroids, treat any type of hormonal and balancing disease process that you may have, is switching out your products, switching out beauty products, cleaning products, anything you put on your body. Like our skin is our biggest organ and we're absorbing it and we're putting all these lotions and fragrances and parabens and all these things on our body, soaking them in, and it's disrupting our endocrine system. It's causing excess estrogen in the body. So it took a while to switch out products and for clean products. A lot of things are marketed as clean and they're really not, but I would say, pick one product. When something runs out, switch out to a cleaner one. I would start with lotion first. I would cut out all the stuff that has fragrance in it, Bath and Body Works, any of that kind of stuff that has fragrance in the ingredient list. Cut that out, like candles, the stuff that the cleaning products, laundry detergent, switch it all out. You don't have to be perfect. No one's saying that we're striving for perfection here, but we need to decrease it somewhat. Deodorant, things like that, toothbrush or toothpaste, anything that you use on a daily basis, I would start with those first. Easier said than done, but reducing stress so that our cortisol levels aren't at a super high level and throwing off all our hormones is important. So I would say, I did a lot of fertility yoga, fertility meditations, fertility affirmations, anything that I could try to reduce my stress as much as I could while trying to conceive. Exercising regularly. Movement obviously increases circulation in the body, helps balance your hormones. It helps reduce your stress as well. It helps the body eliminate excess hormones. I did strength training. I did a lot of walking. I did a lot of walking workouts. Exercising regularly is something I did about 3 to 4 times a week. And of course, I had to support gut health. Like the same with the fiber intake, we gotta have regular bowel movements. And also eating more fermented foods. I ate sauerkraut so much. I found this really good one from Kroger that was like this jalapeno one. So I ate that quite a bit. I did take a probiotic every day, probiotic, prebiotic. A healthy gut helps eliminate excess estrogen. Along with that, staying hydrated, drinking your water. We got to keep things moving. It also helps support the gut health as well. Talked about this before, but acupuncture really did help me. It helps increase the circulation in the body. It helps the symptoms of fibroids, and that's where I noticed it a lot. I had one appointment when my period started, and she literally said, "You're going to bleed a little bit more tonight." This is the day she did it. And then tomorrow it might go a lot, and then it'll stop. And I did not believe her. I was like, no way, I bleed for 3 weeks. Like, what are you talking about? And she was right. That's exactly what happened. I bled a lot more, or kind of a good amount. And then the next day it was done. And I was a believer after that. Castor oil packs definitely help with increasing circulation, decreasing the pain that you may have from your from fibroid. You already know I swear by those castor oil packs. These changes is what made a big difference for me and helped me out a lot. So if you have any questions, or let me know if you tried any of these things in the comments. Have a good day.
Here's what I wish I would have done when I was diagnosed with fibroids. If you don't know me, I'm Danile. I'm a wellness creator, and I just had an open myomectomy. So fibroids, myomectomies, and women's health are all super top of mind for me. Plus, 70% of women, 80% of Black women of childbearing age will be diagnosed with fibroids, so it's an important topic. First thing I wish I would have done was had my doctor, my gynecologist, walk me through my MRI scans. I had to advocate to get those MRI scans, but when I got them, I didn't actually know what I was looking at. Like, I'll show you a photo. So I got a bunch of pictures that look like this. I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained, so I didn't know what any of this meant. Knowing
what was going on in my body would have been really helpful. And the reason I know that is because when I met with my incredible surgeon, she actually walked me through my scans, literally outlined my uterus, outlined my bladder, outlined all of my fibroids to help me understand where they were sitting in my body. And there was something about that that was just so empowering. Second thing I would have done was, based off of the placement of my fibroids, I would have asked my doctor, what are the type of symptoms I should expect as those fibroids grow? So again, I had one that was sitting right on top of my bladder and it was causing frequent urination. And I didn't connect the two until I was meeting with my surgeon, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm peeing all the time. It's not because I have a small bladder. The third thing I wish I would have done earlier on was put a plan in place. So my gynecologist was like, yeah, you have fibroids. Actually, I'm going to show you I'll show you a screenshot. This was one of the messages that I got from my gynecologist, which was like, yeah, I got some fibroids, consider birth control, and then call me if you have questions. That's not a plan. We would have put a plan together to monitor the growth via ultrasounds or, additional MRIs, or I wish I would have had more insight into what I should be thinking about in terms of symptoms, like I just said. And the reason I think that would have been helpful is because I probably wouldn't have had to have an open myomectomy. I may have been able to put other plans in place to mitigate some of the symptoms that I was feeling. So those are some of the things that I would have done. If you have any comments or questions, comment below. And don't forget to follow for more wellness.